any fresh ideas. I have been looking at some ideas, and I do think there's a punt maybe on Nunes, but that'll be the options. It'll be either Palmer out to Barkley or Watkins out to Nunes. There's a few options in there. Or I'll take a -4 and go for both, but that would mean benching Richarlison. If I had a -4. There is options this week. Definitely. But yeah, we'll just see how we do. Obviously, I'm just checking the news. Obviously, the captaincy's still on Haaland, like I said earlier in the live. I don't really think there's a plan on me changing the captaincy just based off how everything's currently going. I just don't think there's any need for me to change the captaincy at the moment in time. I don't know why my phone just beeped off. Right, there we go. Yeah, I don't think there's any need for me to change the captaincy. The only possible, like I say, changes I could see me maybe captaining De Bruyne or Tony, but doubtful. It'll be Haaland most likely. I'm 90% sure that I'm gonna captain in Haaland this week. Yeah, I'm 90% sure I'm gonna captain Haaland this week. It'll just really come down to possibly any late random ideas off me, any late changes that I think is decent, but it will most likely be Haaland. I will do a poll at some point just to see what you lot think, but like I say, it will probably be a Erling Haaland captaincy this week, and I'll be very surprised if I go any other way. I'm very surprised. There's just no real urgency for me to go and captain anyone else but Erling Haaland this week. So that is currently where I stand. But like I say, we will do a poll. We will do a poll to see what anyone thinks, but on captaincy this week we will do a poll in a bit, but at the moment it's going to be staying on Erling Haaland. Like I say to you all, there is a possibility that it will be Nunes or Barkley coming in my team, 25. The only reason I'm slightly drifting more towards bringing Barkley in for Palmer is Palmer ain't going to play 26 anyway. He's got City 25. Barkley has an okay double 25. He's got another double 28. He's going to blank 26 to the same as Palmer, so it's just another benching the same as it was. And also, I'd have Watkins still playing. Where if I brought Nunes in for Watkins, I'd have one less player playing in 26. I wouldn't have Watkins for Fulham, which I don't think I'm going to start him anyway. So there is a few options there. There's a possibility that I bring Darwin Nunes in, as the fixtures are good for Darwin Nunes as well. It's just really going to depend on how many players I'm going to want for game week 24. Not 24, sorry, game week 25 for the doubles, and also how many players I'm going to want for the blank game week 26. Because blank game week 26 at the minute, I think I'm currently going to have 9 players. If I move Watkins out, I'll have 8 players. If I move Palmer out to Barkley, I'll still have 9 players. So that's the only problem. That is the slight worry at the moment. But the only problem is I do really like Liverpool's fixtures, 27, 28, you know. But then I also like the fact that Ollie Watkins has got a really nice run of fixtures as well, because he's got Forest and Luton, Spurs. He's got Forest at home as well. You know, he's got an okay run of fixtures. So it's just whether I sacrifice him for that double game week just for the sake of having an extra player for the double. And I just don't really think there's any logic behind doing that decision, really, with Nunes. It really is a tough one, deciding what I'm going to do with my transfers, really. At the moment, obviously, I did get Doherty in. A lot of people are worried about only having 7 or 8 players playing the week, but I just feel like as long as you've got at least 7 players playing game week 26, you're absolutely fine with at least 7 players. Like, I'll have 9 playing at the minute. If I do Watkins to Nunes, it'll be 8. If I stick with my decision next week and do Palmer to Barkley and not bring Nunes in for Watkins, then it'll be 9. But I will have an extra double game week play for 25, no matter what, because I'm going to do either Palmer to Barkley or Watkins to Nunes. It's just really decision dependent. It will depend how well Haaland plays this week and how well Nunes plays as well, because I just feel like Haaland might have a little bit of an iffy drought for triple captaining 25, but 90% sure that I'm going to triple captain him 25. It's just a hard decision because Nunes can slightly be in the mix. He's just not as good of a goal scoring player as Erling Haaland. But it's just going to depend if Erling Haaland can pick up some kind of form against Everton. Because he didn't look great against Brentford. He wasn't taking that many shots. He had 1 shot on target the whole game and 2 shots. So I just don't really feel like he's doing enough at the moment, but it'll really going to be team dependent. Also, someone asked me a question earlier about Amari Bell, if Amari Bell was a good option for Luton. My answer to that is, for me, no. Yes, he's only 3.9 mil. Yes, he's a good 4th defender for your bench because most people are playing 3 at the back. So yes, he's a good bench defender. Possibly, yeah, because he's got 2 double game weeks coming up. So yeah, he's a good bench defender, but if you can't afford Doherty and you need to go for Bell, then fine. Bell's an okay pick for the double, but if I'm picking any Luton defender, it will be Doherty. Because he's the only one who's going to pick up assists and get goal involvement and create those chances. I know people said that Bell's a given starter game in, game out, but let's have a drink. But at the same time, so is Doherty. I know he's 0.7, 0.6 more, but you're getting that assist threat and bonus point threat with Doherty. You're not going to get that with Amari Bell. Also, I don't really like Amari Bell. I don't think he's a great player for Luton, if I'm being honest. I think you're just looking at him for the minutes, and you want someone, if you're going to buy a Luton defender, you want someone who's going to be attacking, as they've got a double game week, but I promise you they're not going to keep a clean sheet in either of them games. No chance in hell that Doherty's going to get a clean sheet in any of the double game week games. It's them assists that he's going to pick up, then bonus points. That's what he's going to pick up in the double game weeks. He's going to get an assist a game, for example. Let's say that. And that's like 10 points between the 2 games. That's logical. But then you've got Amari Bell who won't get an assist, won't probably get a goal threat between either games. He might shock me now and do it, but it's doubtful. He's not really a bonus point magnet, nowhere near. Yes, okay, he'll start, but it's just like having a normal defender. It's not worth it. When you're buying defenders now this year, I find you're just not going for clean sheets, you're going for attacking output. I obviously doubt he should get a clean sheet this week versus Sheffield and maybe get an assist. That's the logic behind him this week. I think he'll do very well for me. But what you've got to understand is that no teams really in the Premier League are currently keeping clean sheets. So for me, I'm personally not going to be touching him. But that's my personal preference. I will not be touching Amari Bell. It was a random question by someone anyway if he was a good option. And for me, nope, he's not a good option. I wouldn't be touching him. Unless you're on a wild card and you need a 4th defender that's cheap for your bench then. But yeah, unless you need a cheap defender for your bench then, for me, I would just be happily going with Doherty. I don't really think Amari Bell's a great option, like I've just said. So, yeah, I won't be touching Amari Bell. I'm going to wait for everyone to get in and we'll start talking the blue card situation again like I was earlier, because I had a little bit of a rant about that. I need to hold on, guys. Let me just connect my AirPods up to the stream. Right, there we go. Perfect. I've got sound now. But yeah, like I say, it'll be a case of... I'm going to... Actually, while I'm on here, I'll show you guys what my Game Week 26 team will look like. This is... Bear in mind, this is not Game Week 24. This is kind of just showing what my Game Week 26 team would essentially look like because of the blank game weeks. So this is essentially what my team would look like in 26. So I'd have 9 players starting. Let me just refresh the page. So the team goes back to normal, reset. Has Bradley finally been marked? Yeah, but he's back 17th of Feb, I know that. That's fine. I already discussed that on stream earlier that Bradley's not going to be back till the 17th of Feb. I have started him this week, but it's not a big deal because Pinnock could come off the bench, so it's not really a big deal this week. I just played him in case he start. I did feeling that he probably wouldn't even be playing in the team due to his dad's passing of the funeral, so obviously I'm still going to play him in the double as he's a double game week player, but yeah, it's doubtful he's probably going to start though. He'll probably play one game. It was just a point I brought in as a fourth defender, to be honest, so it's not really the end of the universe. He's my backup defender, so I'm okay with Bradley being out until the 17th of Feb because he'll probably come back for the double game week. So, especially with Trent still looking a bit unfit as well, it'll be an eye test this weekend to decide whether I'll start Bradley or not next week. Because obviously I've got a Stupin on the bench against Sheffield, so there'll probably be a slight nudge more to playing a Stupin. But again, that'll depend if a Stupin starts this week again after being benched after a terrible performance. There's a lot of key factors to impose in it. But yeah, that was just a quick look at how my Game Week 26 team would look. I'd have 9 starters, 2 non-starters, and then the rest would be on the bench. So I'd have 9 players playing. And it would probably be a Tony or Watkins captain. Mind you, I've got a Haaland playing actually. No, ignore me, I keep forgetting City's playing. No, it'll be a Haaland captain, Game Week 26. At the moment, I'm probably going to be triple captain in Haaland in 25. Most likely. It's that or I'm going to triple captain in 28 for Solanke, but it'll probably be 25. I'm 90% sure I'm going to triple captain next week. For the double game week, so yeah, it'll probably be Haaland. I expect Haaland to at least get a goal in each of the games in the double game week because they're at home both games. He's still going to be on penalties. Logically, he's going to get something out of both them games. Quite interesting to see what people are captaining this week. Because obviously I'm on Haaland because I'm a 10-plate son of the gun, but I don't know what everyone else is captaining. I will say this as well. Like, you can't just be 10-plate anymore really because you can't just go and captain Haaland and say he's the best option because he ain't. There's other people in my team that could be great options this week. Saka, Tony could be a good option. Even Richarlison could be a good option. There's a few decent players this week, but I'm going with Haaland. Obviously, Richarlison's got a home fixture as well, but it just makes logical sense to go there in Haaland. So that's what I've gone for. I'm not expecting him to be the highest scoring player in my team, if I'm being honest. It's just the simple captaincy that should bag points at minimum. You know, that's the thing with your captaincy. As long as you at least get points on your captaincy every week, then you're happy. Haaland might not be the highest scoring player in my team, but statistically he's the best captain based off the fixtures, so that's what I'm going to go with. I was going to be a bit risky and take a punt on captain and Doughty, but I'll be sitting behind the sofa on Saturday hoping Haaland doesn't do anything, so I ain't going to risk it. Let's see. Let's just see if we've had any more news barring the press conferences on Twitter. What happened to Bradley? Basically, Elisa, his dad passed away the other week, which I knew anyway. The only reason I've started him this week was a punt, which again I knew he probably wouldn't be back to play. But he will be back for the double game week, so he'll probably get a game in the double game week. I'm 90% sure he'll get at least one start in the double game week. But yeah, he only didn't play, that's why he didn't play after that amazing performance, was because his dad passed away. That was the only reason he didn't start. So that was just a bit unfortunate for him. So, and I'll probably will end up maybe benching him 25, but I'll probably start him because I think he'll get one game at least. But like I say, condolences to him and his family. It's a bit of a sad thing to go and have a great high scoring week, and then his dad passes away of a long-term illness straight after the game. I think it was a couple of days after. So yeah, he'll be coming off the bench for Pinnock this week, which is fine. Pinnock's against Wolves. I still think Bamford could get a clean sheet versus Wolves and he'll come off the bench. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, no, he'll be, by the sounds of it, he's getting okay. He should be back in training next week, as far as I'm aware. Whether he plays a game, I couldn't tell you, because I don't know. Most likely he's fit, he's ready, he's a capable player, it's just whether he's mentally ready to play a game yet, which is probably doubtful. I think he should probably get one game, but it's going to depend. Luis Diaz come back quick after obviously what happened to his parents kidnapping and all that, but this is a total different story. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an iffy one. I don't really think he's going to start. It's really hard to determine. Really, it's one of them things. But yeah, it is terrible. It really is. You don't want it to happen to any young player, especially coming off that amazing game as well, and his dad saying how proud he was of him. Then he sadly passed away a couple of days later, so it's not great for him, to be honest with you. His life and things happen, but yeah, I don't really see him coming straight back into the team and starting. I'm going to be shaking tomorrow. I'm not Captain Haaland. Why? Who are you captaining? Why are you in here actually? Because I've had nothing to rant about this morning earlier because it was a bit quiet. Because I decided to pick. To be honest, this is why I did another stream. I don't know why I decided to schedule it. I completely forgot Slay was playing darts. To be fair. Yeah. At the moment, I'm going to captain Haaland, so I don't have to deal with the pain on Saturday. I'm not dealing with any pain tomorrow, so I'm just going to captain Haaland, and I'll be happy with my decision, no matter what. No risk involved. Obviously, there's this blue card nonsense that they're bringing in, which is making me reluctant to sit and watch a Premier League game on Saturday. I was saying earlier, you might as well just print a blue card off with Bruno Fernandes's face on it. Because every single game he'll moan, he'll whine, he'll have a problem with the ref, he'll say something to the ref. He'll get sin-binned every 5 minutes. I think it's a really stupid decision, and I think they're trying to ruin the game, and they don't understand that bringing in blue cards is not going to fix anything. It's going to make the game 10 times worse. VAR is already corrupt as hell and terrible. I just believe they're trying to find another way to fix the game with these blue cards. Okay, the refs get stick, fair enough. Yes, players make some late tackles, make some late challenges. Ref, if you've got a problem with the player, what have you got? You've got a yellow card, you've got a red card. If the player's getting verbally abusive, you book him. He gets verbally abusive again, send him off. Fair enough. But it's not going to be rugby, it's not hockey, it's not American football, it's not all this other bull crap. It's football. We don't want to see blue card nonsense. But you know what the problem is, Eliza? And this is another thing I don't like about the blue card. If you get a blue card and get sent off, listen, for 10 minutes, and you come on and you get another blue card, you're out for the whole game. You get 2 blue cards, it's the same as getting a red card. So the refs can just give out blue cards willy-nilly for one sarcastic backhanded comment or one little comment towards him because he's a little bit of a winding little scum like the refs are, and a little bit of big crybabies, and they'll have one word said to him and they'll give out a blue card. Another word said to him, oh look, I can give another blue card out, you're off for the game. How does that work? And the only thing I don't like about VAR with these cards as well, if a ref gives a blue card, VAR can't intervene. If VAR could intervene, then maybe I'd have a little bit of okayness with them trying it, but the fact they're even trying to do it is terrible. Oh, they will. They'll try it, it'll fail, and they'll bail on it. They will. They will. The point is for them to be able to sin bin a player for 10 minutes. But at the end of the day, the problem is then, if you sin bin a player for 10 minutes, the team's going to have a strategy deliberately for when they're down to 10 men, so they can waste time for 10 minutes, and players are going to keep going down injured. People are going to waste time even more just so they can get the player back on the pitch. It's going to cause more time wasting. It's going to cause more arguments. It's going to cause more stupid tactics. It's going to make the game boring. It's going to make football boring to watch. It's a stupid rule because refs are just pathetic. The fact that any of the top managers have agreed to it, God knows. I'm glad Postecoglou and Ten Hag haven't, because that's a ridiculous thing. It's just trying to ruin the game for the fans, and I think they need to understand it's a fan aspect. Fans watch football, fans make the money. If fans stop going to the stadium and fans stop watching it, which they will, they'll end up reversing the blue card straight away. I think the fact they're trying to change football is ridiculous. You don't need to change football. Football doesn't need changing. What needs fixing is VAR. That's what needs fixing. VAR needs to be able to look at yellow cards and red cards, not just red cards. They need to be able to look at both. They need to be able to look at everything. And also, the refs need to actually start making proper decisions. If they didn't make stupid decisions in the first place, which they do, week in, week out, some of the refs are okay. But some of the refs will make a blatantly bad decision, get a stick of it by a player or a fan, and then think they have the reason to book them. It's a joke. No, They're trying to make it like American sports. And I'm telling you now, I love football. I always have loved football. But I will not sit and watch football if they try and make it American. They already tried to make all our sports American by calling it flipping soccer over there. I feel like anyone who says soccer, I feel like just walking up to them and punching them in the face. It's not soccer, it's football. I really feel like just walking up to you and punching you in the face if you call it soccer, because it's disgraceful. And the fact that they call their NFL American football is a joke. You're using your hands, for crying out loud. You're not even using your feet. It's a rip-off version of rugby. And people are crybabies wearing their stupid face guards and the helmets. Rugby players don't do that. It's a bit of a joke. I could have a rant today with it. I could argue about it. I could think of a billion reasons why for hours on end. But it is an FPL stream, so I will get back to talk about FPL in a minute. But yeah, God, I could talk about it for hours on end. It's ridiculous. It really is. But we will get back to the FPL topics. I imagine people are going to have some questions and whatnot, so we will get back on that. But yeah, I do think it's ridiculous. I will speak more on that later in the Discord. How's your team looking anyway? How's your team looking? I'm quite interested to see if you're captain then, if you're not captain Haaland. They won't do that. They'd wreck the whole game. Timeouts in football wouldn't work. This blue card stuff won't work. None of this will work. I think what people don't understand, and I've seen a lot of... I'm going to get back on this now after I was going to talk about FPL, but what I don't think they understand is, and I've seen a lot of people say, okay, the blue cards may be okay, and they're saying, well, they have it in hockey, they have it in rugby, they have it in whatever else, but my argument is, hockey and rugby are not football. Football, okay, it can be violent, you can have a couple of tackles. It's not a violent sport. Rugby, you can get seriously hurt. Timeouts on a yellow card. I get that, because it's rugby. And people get really heated up. Hockey's one of the most violent sports in the world. People get bashed into the side, so if you hit with a stick, you get a yellow card and you're timed out. Well, not a yellow card, but you're timed out for 10 minutes with hitting with your stick. Justifiable. This is hockey, this is rugby. Football, do you constantly get hit in the back? No. Do you get punched? No. If you do any of that, you get a yellow card or a red card anyway. You go up to the ref, you get a yellow card or a red card. Putting in sin bins is basically the same as giving a player a red card. It sends him off for 10 minutes. It affects the game, it affects the team, it affects the outcome. It makes ref basically be able to fix the games, if you ask me, because they can just give a blue card to anyone they see fit, claiming a player said something to him, and the VAR can't get involved. That's my opinion of it, because I think it's a load of crap. But I am going to try and get back to talking FPL, because I'm having a bit of a rant here, and I'll save this for later, but yeah. Back to what I was saying, how's your team looking? Who's your captain and whatnot? You made any transfers this week? Let me just check that all the audio is working fine. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, like I said, anyway, this is my team at the minute still. I'm not going to be changing anything, I don't think. At all. That's the point, actually. Ignore me, the deadline's not until tomorrow. I can bench Bradley. Donut. Yeah, I'll bring Pinnock in now. There's no point me starting Bradley. Trying to drift away from the template for the rest of the season. Why? Your rank can't be that bad, surely. Surely your rank can't be that bad, you need to drift away for the rest of the season. Yeah, I wouldn't captain anyone other than Haaland this week, Elias, I'm being honest with you. Having differentials in your team's fine. Just try and stick to like a really template captain, because you're not going to lose rank by doing that. You're always going to gain. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm having one of the worst starts to a season I've had in a long time. I'm 868k. I was like 250 by this last season, so I'm not having as good of a start as I usually would. I normally make 100k. The last year was a bit different because of what was going on, but This year, I'm like 140k under a mil. I'm normally at least 100k by this point rank. So I'm having a worse season than usual. It does happen. Not everyone has a great season every single year. I'm normally pretty consistent where I'll make top 500k no matter what, but yeah, it is. I'm almost 2 mil, man. That's not too bad. I know you say you're 2 mil, but I'll be honest with you. If you make the right decisions, make the right transfers, you can go from 2 mil to 500k. If you make the right transfers in the next like 14 or so weeks. You've just really got to make the right transfers and the right moves. You've got to be lenient with your chips. Make sure you have the right triple captain. You make sure you bring the right players in. Just be sensible. Because if you don't captain Haaland and you captain someone else and Haaland scores big, you're going to go down to 3 mil. Where if you captain Haaland and your other player scores big anyway, you're going to gain rank. So my advice to you would be captain Haaland because it's a safe decision. He's going to get a goal versus Everton, I promise you, because he'll pick up form, he's back at home, he will get a goal, he will get a return against Everton. I'm backing him to get 2 goals against Everton. So I'll be honest with you, just captain Haaland. Especially in the position you're in as well. I can slightly afford to take differentials to a degree, but even I'm not going to differential captaincy. But if you think you're doing bad, God, we had Fabio last season. He was like 3 point something mil. I took him from 3 point something mil to 1.2 by the end of the season. And then this year, I think he sat on 1.1 mil. 1 mil? Is it less than that? Less than 1 mil? And Fabio's pretty new to this. Bear in mind, I've been playing this for ages, and I'm on a crap position for me, considering how long I've been playing this game and the knowledge I've got. When you go to choose your triple captain, right, not 100%, but I'm 90% sure I'm going to use it on Haaland next week. On 25, I'm going to probably triple captain Haaland 25. I'm 90% sure it'll be Haaland triple cap 25, and nearly everyone will triple cap to Haaland 25 because logically I can see Haaland getting 2 goals in each of them games, which is 26 points. If he gets a goal in each of them games, it's 18 points. So the logical decision is triple captain Haaland because you're going to minimum, no matter what, in those 2 games, you're minimum, for me, you're going to get 18 points out of him. Minimum. Because he will score both the games and get bonus points. Minimum. You're going to get min 18 points. And I could easily see him getting a hat-trick in one of the games, getting 2 goals in each of the games. They're at home. He's going to really want to kick into form now, so I could see him getting 4 goals between the games. So for me, it's Haaland no-brainer. I could see him getting 26 points. Maybe even higher. I think the high, he could probably get 30 plus points at a high. So I'm going to go for Haaland for that reasoning. I looked at triple captain Solanke in 28. Considered it, for me, he's not better than Haaland in 25. So I'm 90% sure I'm on Haaland. I'm going to go Haaland. For me. And I will have Solanke 28, but I'm going to go Haaland. Triple captain 25. And I'll captain Solanke in 28. I'm unfortunately one of those unlucky people where I had Solanke when the Luton fixture got postponed and the game decided, oh, we're going to take your 10 points for Solanke off you because the game got postponed. Fair enough, Lockie, you had an injury, but I think it was a bit unfair to take 10 points off me for having Solanke, which immediately benefits everyone else around me for me losing 10 points. But nobody should have lost points for Solanke. They should have just given to you because he still scored in that time period. Postponed or not, he still scored in that time period. And their excuse was, well, but you'll still have Solanke for the double game week. Well, no, because I've clearly transferred him out, and that double game week's not even been rescheduled to 28, and this happened in like game week 17. So everyone's benefited, but the people who had Solanke and got the points taken off them. They're the people who've not benefited, and it made no difference to anyone else whether I got them Solanke points. The only person it affected was me. So that was a bit disgraceful from FPL, to be honest with you, and that did annoy me because it's the first time I've seen them do something disgusting like that. Because it's terrible to do something like that, really, because I still got the points, he still scored. At the minimum, what they should have done was say, okay, do you know what then? If we're going to take the 10 points off you this week, when he gets a double, which is 28, you're essentially going to have a triple captain Solanke. You'll get an extra, double points for him. If that makes sense, because you got them 10 points taken off you. When in reality, they should have just made things less complicated and just give you them 10 points. I don't flipping know. It's FPL. They try to make stupid decisions to try and make it better for people, but make it worse for people who've actually got him. They don't think both ways. It's a bit stupid. So that was a bit annoying. But again, it happens. It does happen. Let me just disconnect these. Gross. Yeah, I do remember what they did with Gross last season. I happened to have Gross as well. They had March last season when March got done dirty when he scored, and when he clearly scored and they gave it as an own goal, even though he scored. I had Gross when he got done dirty. I had Solanke when he got done dirty this season. I benched Foden last year for Tony and Foden got a hat trick. I benched Foden this year for Tony and Foden got a hat trick again. My luck sometimes can just be terrible. Like, I make logical decisions, I make data decisions, and then people just get lucky. That's the thing that annoys me with FPL sometimes. Is I'll make the smartest decisions, I'll be smarter than 90% of the people on the game, and then they'll just get extremely lucky like last week. And Foden will go and score a hat-trick out of the blue. I mean, my rank was like 550k Green Arrow. I was on like 550k, and then Foden decides to score a hat-trick. I'm thinking, great! Yeah. Let me just hide this a second, guys, because I'm going to pull something up on the thing, but I can't show you my code for the thing, so I am going to pull up the live FPL, but I can't show you my code, so just give me 1 second. The screen is not gone off, it's me deliberately doing it just so I can log into my ID thing. And then once I'm in, I'll get rid of the lock on it. There we go. We're back up. Right. Clearly see my team is 1 in a million, blah blah blah. Got Green Arrow last week, barely, by 1 point. Again, Foden decides to just absolutely blow my rank up because he was on my bench. So that was how I looked last week. This is why I was a bit disgusted last week. This was disgusting. Complete and utter. Disgusting. Richarlison kind of semi-same my week. As you could see, I ended up having like a 16k Green Arrow, or 20k or whatever, which was absolutely terrible, when I was going to have like a 350k Green Arrow. But if you go down to... Is it going to show it? No, it's not going to show it. Okay, well that's annoying. I was going to show you something, but it seems it doesn't want to show you. But you can see how many points you're off certain ranks and so on. I've got about an 80-point catch-up to do to get to the top 100k, about an 80-point catch-up. Which, well, 70-odd, which is not a big deal. I'll get that in no time. But yeah, I remember what they did with Gross last season. It was terrible. I saw someone on Twitter that had 47 bench points last week. Yeah, last week was disgusting. Like, I have Brentford keepers, and I mean it. Brentford keepers seem to have a problem with me. Like, last year I benched Raya like 3 times for Areola. Funny enough, I had Areola in. And I benched him like 3 times. And the 3 times I benched him, he got 10 points, 13 points, and like 8 points, and my keeper blanked. And I benched Flecken last week, and I was going to start him over Areola, and I benched him, and then he gets 10 points. And I'm thinking, Brentford keepers have just got a problem with me, and then the opposite will happen this week. There'll be a miracle, West Ham will end up keeping a clean sheet, and Wolves will score 2 goals. Keepers are weird, man. Whichever one I start does crap, whichever one I bench does good. It happens every single week. Like, I've benched Areola for his 10-pointer, and 10 or whatever points he got, 10 or 12 pointer he got. And I played Flecken that week, I think, or someone... Who else? No, was it Flecken? No. Who did I have on my team? Was it Vicario? I think it was Vicario. So yeah, I've had a bit of a misfortune with keepers this year. I statistically this year, I think I should at least end with 60 odd points. yeah. At least we've got a bigger weekend of football this week, lads. Nothing too boring. There's a decent bit of football today as well, actually. Just going to look at this quick now. But yeah, this is where I'm looking at it. I'm still looking on Twitter to see if there's any more news, but I haven't really seen anything more up to date, apart from really what we've had with the press conferences. I was saying earlier as well, Elazar, you weren't here, but I was saying earlier, Salah put in his press conference, Salah should be back in 1 to 2 weeks. Salah says he will be back in a week, training. He won't play 25, and he won't start either game. He's just come off a hamstring injury, he won't risk it, he won't start either game. He'll probably, maybe, if he's lucky, get 30, 40 minutes between both the games, if he's lucky. So, nobody should be worried about having Núñez or Jota or anything, because Salah will not start either of them games in 25. Salah will be lucky to get 40 minutes between both the games. And I don't think he's going to be back in a week. I think he'll be back in 2 weeks, I'm being completely honest with you. So, I wouldn't be worried about Salah anymore. If you don't own Salah, that's a good thing, because for me, he's not going to do anything. He's not even going to start 40 minutes between the two. And he will be coming off the bench in both, believe me. He will not start a single one of them game. And that's if he's even back, which is very, very doubtful he's back. So yeah, at the moment we're looking pretty decent with the team. You didn't tell me actually, Elazar. Who did you say you captained? Because you haven't told me yet. Quite interested to see who you captained. I did ask you earlier. Either you're hiding it from me because it's a stupid captain decision, or it's something interesting. No, he won't bench Richarlison because he's an out-and-out striker. He won't bench Brennan Johnson. If he's going to bench someone for Son, it'd be Kulu. For me, Son won't play in 25. The blank 26. The only time I'd even consider getting Son back is maybe 27 if he's got a decent fixture in 28. Jota. Why Jota? I would not, I wouldn't. It's up to you. I wouldn't captain Jota over Haaland because Haaland's at home. I know Jota is, but Jota's not on penalties. Haaland's on penalties. Jota's more of a minutes risk. Haaland isn't. Haaland's City's main threat. Jota isn't Liverpool's main threat. There's more logic to captain Haaland there. I know you want to go different, but you've still got to think clear-minded, and everything says Haaland there. You've still got to think clear-minded and clear-headed. What's the best decision? That's Haaland. And I'll be honest with you, you're still going to make rank gain on Haaland, no matter what, because he's only 65% owned. He's not even going to be 200% ownership with the captain. Burnley, I'm telling you now, Jota, for me, it's up to you, your decision. Like I say, anything can happen in FPL. Go with your gut. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but for me, I don't see any chance in hell of Jota outscoring Haaland if Haaland's back to form this week, which for me will be. Palmer's an okay pick because he's on penalties. He's still playing well. He did look a bit iffy though the other game, so I am not going to be captaining Palmer without it. I'd say it'll be Haaland for me because Haaland's got the home fixture, the best home fixture of the lot for me. I prefer Haaland at home to Everton than Salah at home to Burnley, if I'm being completely honest with you. If I had them both in my team, let's just say Salah was starting, for example, which he isn't, by the way. He's not even in the team. He won't be in the team for 25 really either, but let's just say miraculously that was a decision. I'd still captain Haaland over any Liverpool asset. I'd captain Haaland over any Liverpool asset this week. But that's just my opinion. Everton are one of the worst defences away from home. They're an okay defence at home. They're not one of the best defences away from home at all. You've got that the other way around. They're okay defensively at home. They're not the best defence away. They've been terrible of late. City will rip any team apart. City will win 3-1, 4-1 pretty comfortably. It'll probably be 4-1 City. 3-1 minimum, because Everton will get a goal, but I'm telling you now, City will score 3 goals in that game minimum. and Haaland will get 1 at the minimum in that game. And for me, he gets 2 goals versus Everton pretty comfortably. Everton are playing really bad football at the minute, so for me, I wouldn't be touching Everton. I know they played an okay game versus Spurs, but Spurs just played absolutely terrible that game. And Man City is not Spurs, so Man City will dominate them at home. They haven't got the best defence away, trust me. I know what you're looking at. You're looking at results. You're not looking at data. I have data and statistics and how people are defending, tackles and everything. They're not the best defence away. They're one of the top 5 defences away, but they're not the best. And they're one of the top, I think it was 10 at home as well. No, sorry, I've got the wrong way around. They're in the top 10 away best defences, they're in the top 5 at home. Because I've got my diary, you see, I write all my statistics down, data down, eye test down, players' points, players' shots on target, passes, tackles, fouls, every single game. And I tally it up. I have spreadsheets, everything in my notebooks for them. I do look into everything into really deep detail. I've got it all really, really done out in my notebooks. So I do know most of the things, so I am pretty sure I'm 90% right. I can have a look if I've missed anything, but I don't think I have. Let me just move that down. Why isn't... hold on, let me confirm this first. I'll bring Pinnock in because Pinnock should be on the... I also played my free hit, by the way, as you can see. That's the first time ever I've played a free hit early. In the odd chance... I'll be honest with you, Eliza, I'm 99% confident that Haaland will return. 99%. It would take a miracle for him not to return in that game. He'll return. Everton are one of the dirtiest teams going as well. They'll give away a penalty or something stupid like they always do. He'll return. While everyone's in as well, anyone got any transfer questions? Anything that need help with transfers this week? And going into double game week 25. Also quite interested to see if anyone else is going to silly differential captain this week. I'm still going to be on Haaland though. Like I said, if you want to go different, then go different. It's up to you. I'll just give you my opinion, and my opinion is Haaland's the best captain this week. That is my strong opinion. I don't really think there's anyone this week who matches Haaland for the captaincy. The only reason I'd say, obviously, not go Haaland captain, obviously, is if you don't have Haaland, then KDB's probably the next best captaincy this week. But I'd be shocked if anyone in here doesn't have Haaland this week. Best defenders I could bring in? It depends. Do you want someone who's going to be playing this week, next week, and 26? Because the best defender, my best defender this week that I recommend will be Alfie Doherty. That's my pick this week for the best defender to bring in. As he's got Sheffield this week at home. He's going to get a clean sheet. He's racked up assists in every single one of the last 4 games. He's one of Luton's most informed players on that wing back. He's really high up, really inverted, really attacking. They're going to score 3+ goals versus Sheffield. And I'd back Luton to win 3-4-0. So he should be involved in a goal. He's going to get a clean sheet. He should pick up bonus points. So for me, it's a no-brainer to bring in Alfie Doherty, considering he's got a great fixture this week. He's got 2 upcoming double game weeks. The only downside to bringing him in is he blanks 26. But if you're happy with how many players you're going to have for 26 anyway, bringing him in, then I'd bring Alfie Doherty in. You're looking for one who doesn't blank in 26. So if you want one who doesn't blank in 26, then I would probably bring in a Brentford defender maybe, because they're still doubling 25, and then they'll have a game 26. It's just they're not really got some great teams in the double. A Stupidan's not a bad pick. A Stupidan isn't a bad pick, as they have Sheffield United on 25, and then Brighton have a really good run of fixtures. Just wait and see if a Stupidan starts this weekend. If a Stupidan starts this weekend, then he's probably the second best pick to bring in. Defenders are hard at the minute. I mean, even bringing in an Arsenal defender, maybe Gabriel or Saliba, that's not a bad idea either, because they've got Burnley 25 and they play 26, so Again, that's not a bad idea. But I'll be honest with you, Doherty's probably your best pick. If you can tolerate him blanking 26, and you're going to get 2 double game weeks out of him. I wouldn't touch Trippier, personally. I don't think Trippier is worth buying whatsoever. Newcastle's defence is very leaky. They're going to lose this week for me to Forest. The defence is very leaky. They're not really playing great football. Trippier doesn't look great at the minute, to be honest with you. I know he got a goal, and people can say, oh look, he got a goal. He got a goal in a 4-4 scoring game, which, bear in mind, that never happens. His goal was very late. It was a very, very lucky goal as well. Little tapping on the box. So for me, Trippier doesn't do anything this week. That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to touch Trippier at all the rest of the season. I don't think I'll be touching a Newcastle defender the rest of the season, because they look absolutely terrible at the back. They play well attacking, and they will win games. They just don't get clean sheets. They won't beat Forest though. That's another reason why I'm not touching Anthony Gordon, because I think he's a terrible pick. For me personally, if people want to go Gordon and want to go Isaac, and that, fair enough. But for me, they're terrible picks. I think Isaac's still injured at the minute as well. But yeah, the form is definitely lacking for Trippier. I'm gonna have a drink. But yeah, but it's definitely lacking there. I still like Doherty, like I said. I think if Haaland wasn't playing a double game week 25, if City didn't have a double, I'd probably captain Doherty as a punt. Oh, you're bringing in someone for this week. I thought you meant from next week onwards. I don't think he will, but it's just he's really the only other one I think of that's going to have a double 25 and play 26. There's a possibility he gets a clean versus Wolves. I wouldn't say there's 100% doubtful he won't. I mean, Brentford could surprise you, but again, yeah, I think it'll probably be like a 1-1 game, 2-1 Brentford. I don't think Wolves are going to win that game. I think Brentford are going to come out and win, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, you're asking for something 26 that doesn't blank, and the only other player I could really think of to bring in then is a City defender, but you most likely got triple City, and the defence isn't great at all, they can see goals. Or an Arsenal defender, who's got West Ham this week, but doesn't blank 26 and has Burnley 25. Or just bring Doherty in. Doherty for me is the best pick by far. I know he blanks 26, but you're going to get so many points out of him, and he's got a double 28. It just makes to me the most sense to bring Doherty in. It's just logical for me. But it's up to you. I mean, for me, it was either a Stupan, Doherty, Pinnock, or Gabriel Saliba. Bringing one of the four in. Those four look decent to me. Pinnock, he's a bit of an iffy one, but you say you want someone for 26. The only reason I've got him in because he doubles. He will be gone soon. I bought him on my wild card though, to be fair, the other day, so. Alex Moreno is basically playing winger. Big differential punt. Wolves have got us this week. They're not going to keep. Not Wolves, sorry. God, I'm losing my head today. I haven't had any coffee today. Watkins, sorry, has got us at home this week. So Alex Moreno will have us at home as well. And obviously Villa, I know, are at home. But for me, this isn't even no bias as a United fan, we'll concede probably 1 goal to Villa. And we'll win 2-3-1. I'm quite confident Villa's playing really bad. They didn't look good versus Chelsea. Defensively, they look terrible. We're playing really good football at the minute. And normally I end up saying we're probably going to lose, we're probably going to make a mockery of the game, but I think we'll win this week quite comfortably. I wouldn't touch Alex Moreno. I know you want to try and avoid that blank 26, but you're trying to pick players who have got really bad fixtures. And I don't see the reason behind it, because I can't back double Luton because since I already have Barkley. You can. Eliza, you can back double Luton. I put Doherty in, and I'm going to bring Barkley in for Palmer next week. So you can absolutely back double Luton because they've got a double game week 28 as well. You can absolutely back double Luton. Luton playing fine football at the minute. Absolutely back double Luton. Especially considering they've got Sheffield this week as well. You want to gain rank, you're going to have a massive upside with Doherty this week, trust me. try keeping my differential a little bit of a secret, but everyone's picking up on bringing Doherty in now anyway. I don't bet, man. I haven't touched a Luton player really the whole season, apart from when I had benched for Bell the start of the season, just as a cheap bench option. With, what's his face? He was an ad from Sheffield United. Bulldog. That was like start of the season. I won't touch a Luton player unless I'm very confident they're going to do well. And I'm confident Doherty and Barkley are going to do well. I'm even happy having Doherty in the long run because Luton are scoring quite a few goals a game. And he's getting assists. So I don't mind playing him because no defenders are getting clean sheet now anyway. No one's getting clean sheets at the minute. You're lucky if you get a clean sheet from a defender. Very, very lucky. Because nobody's keeping clean sheets. The only teams you can think you're going to get clean sheets against are like Burnley, Sheffield, and that's probably it. Because you're not going to get a clean sheet versus Luton. You're not going to get a clean sheet versus Nottingham Forest. So Burnley, Sheffield are the only teams really, I think, where you're going to have games where both teams don't score. Is when you've got teams that are against them. Which is why I'm 90% sure Luton's going to get a clean sheet and win 3 or 4-0, and Doherty's going to get an assist. And Barkley's going to be involved in one of them because Ross Barkley's playing like the old Ross Barkley when he was back at Chelsea. He's playing really, really good football. And I would be very surprised if he's still at Luton next season. And he doesn't move to a bigger Premier League club because he's playing very, very well. He's doing what Ross Barkley used to do, scoring those little poacher goals from outside the box in the bottom corner, making great balls over the top. He's looking very, very good. Now, it might just be a short-term spell of him playing good, but he's looking very good. And while he's in this kind of form, it's a no-brainer to have him in your team. So that's why I'm going to have Barkley in for Palmer, and I'm going to keep Doherty as well. I bought him because Doherty looks absolutely brilliant. I was going to run a captaincy poll, but I don't think I've got the thing to set the poll up at the minute. I don't think it wants to let me. Yep. Hold on, guys. I'm just checking that we've got everything sorted. Yeah, okay. My poll does not want to work. Right. Since my poll does not want to work, anyone just put your captaincies in the chat. I'm going to write 3 in the chat, and you can just write to me what you've done. So we're going to go Erling Haaland. These are the 4, and we'll do a vote. Erling Haaland, Darwin Núñez, Diego Jota, and then any other captaincy. You just put differential, for example. They're the 4, and we'll do a vote and see what people are captaining, because those are probably going to be the 4 biggest captains this week. Jota's still a bit of a differential, but I don't like Jota, if I'm being honest with you. Pretty wrapped up though, nearly. When are you going to sell Pedro Porro considering Maddison is back? Why would I sell Pedro Porro considering Maddison is back? I don't think there's any need to sell Pedro Porro. Who's his fixtures like? 25. 27's a good fixture. 28's an okay fixture. 29, Fulham. And then he's got Luton, West Ham, Boris, Newcastle. I'd probably sell him game week 33 when they start having this bad run of fixtures. He's still a long-term hold for me. He's playing great still for Spurs. He's going to pick up assists. He's going to pick up returns. So I won't be selling him anytime soon. It's a wasted transfer game into Pedro Porro. There's no need. And what is he? He's still 34% owned. 5.9 mil now. I think I had him since he was like 4.5. I've had him a while. I think I've had him since... Let me check. Let me see. I've had him for a while. I'm trying to think when I had him. I think I've had him since... I want to say like game week 15. But I'm sure I had him like in them weeks as well, and then got rid of him and brought him back in. But I want to say yeah, since like game 15. So I've had him a decent time. So I don't think I'm planning on selling him anytime soon at the moment. But yeah, no, good point. But I don't see why you think Maddison's going to affect having Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro, if anything, is going to get more returns, more goal threat. Whether Maddison's back or not, he's going to get that goal threat. There is games as well where Spurs are going to keep clean sheets, and he's still going to be an attacking wing back, just like Udogie is. So I won't be selling him anytime soon. I loved having Destiny Udogie in my team. He's probably someone I will be bringing back in later on at some point, because I do think Udogie's absolutely cracking. He's a brilliant player. And I'm a United fan. I love watching Udogie play for Spurs. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and I happily have him at United. He's an absolutely cracking player. Ooh, that's interesting. My mate's just messaging me saying he's going to triple captain Darwin Núñez in 25. That's an interesting decision. I ain't going to judge it, but that's a really interesting decision. Set piece and corners. Maddison will be on set pieces. Pedro Porro will still take some corners, so I'm not worried about that. Like I say, it's not going to affect Pedro Porro's output. I'm telling you now. It will affect it very slightly, minimum. Pedro Porro is still going to pick up goals and assists. He still gets in those very, very dangerous positions where he gets shots off and stuff like that. So I'm nowhere near worried about that. But yeah, you've got an okay point, but I won't be selling Pedro Porro anytime soon. It's an unnecessary move. I don't like making unnecessary moves in FPL. There's no need to sell him. He's got a good fixture run. Yes, he blanks 26, but I'm still going to have 9 starting players in 26. So come 26, I'm going to have 9 starters. I'm going to have, how many double game week players have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bradley's iffy at the minute. I'll bring Barkley in for Palmer, so I'll have 9 double game week players next week. Assuming I'll play Bradley, which is dependent, because obviously with his father passing away and him being back next week in training and whatnot, it's a whole, is he going to play, is he not going to play in either of the games, so it'll probably be in the Estupiñán start between him and Estupiñán. But I'll have 8 double game week players minimum, 25, because I'm going to move either Watkins to Núñez or Palmer to Barkley. But at the moment I'm probably just going to do Palmer to Barkley, because if I do Núñez in for Watkins, I'll only have 8 players playing 26, where if I keep Watkins I'll have 9 playing 26. I'll have Watkins still for his good fixture run. I won't lose any money on him. And I'll have Barkley in for 25 double. Still have 9 playing 26, and have Barkley for a double game week in 28. And I could just have him on the bench as a cheap midfielder, which will then as well free up more money. As well, it'll free up a little bit more money for me to move a couple of players out when I need to bring Salah in as well. So that's the logic at the minute. Set myself up well for 26, set myself up well for 25, and then I'll have essentially 2 players already in my team ready for double game at 28, and then I can bring Solanke in as well as Salah going in towards 28. Because I am going to want Salah back around 28, 29 without a doubt. It's just who I'm going to bring out to bring Salah in, I don't know. Probably will be Foden, Watkins out. And then I'll probably have to move a defender down a bit lower to get him in. That's probably how I'll work around getting Salah back in. But it'll be when like Foden starts getting rotated, which he will. I think come game week 27, 28 is when Foden's going to start getting rotated again. Because he will. Pep will rotate him. I mean, benching him and Flecken last week absolutely killed. I still got 71 points, but if I didn't move Tony in for Foden last minute and move Areola in for Flecken, I would have had, I think, like 96 points. So I did cost myself quite a bit of points, but again, it happens when you bench players. It just does. There's no right or wrong move in FPL. You just make the decision based off data, stats, and what you think's best, and then sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. A friend of mine was convinced me to bring in Neto or Sarabia, but I wasn't buying it. Yeah, I wouldn't bring the Wolves player. I don't know why you'd bring in Neto or Sarabia. Neto's playing well. Sarabia, I don't know why the hell he mentioned Sarabia. Cunha's playing really well for Wolves. I like Cunha. I had Cunha in my team for like a solid 10 weeks. 10 or 9 weeks, but I don't know why anyone would bring in a Wolves player. They've got no double game weeks. They've got hard upcoming fixtures. Yes, Wolves are playing okay, but there's no logic behind bringing in any Wolves player. No logic behind it whatsoever. I think when people say that, they're either a Wolves fan or they're just being biased. Like, I don't ever recommend United players because I know we're playing well, but there's no good United FPL assets whatsoever at the minute. Garnacho's okay, but like I said the other day to everyone, as a United fan, I'll tell you now, he's inconsistent. He's not going to score these big hauls every single week. No way in hell. It's just, he plays good, has a good couple games, people knee jerking and they'll play terrible again. You know, I've had Solanke in my team this year because as a United fan, just I wanted him in on the bench. And that was a little bit biased. I just played him the games where he had good fixtures, got a few returns out of him and it was alright. I did get the whiplash though when, I think it was, I sold Salah to Garnacho one week to free up money to bring someone like De Bruyne or something back in one of the weeks, which I didn't end up doing anyway because De Bruyne weren't playing that week. And then Garnacho got like 5. Was it 5? No, Garnacho got like 8 or 10 points, and then Salah got like 20 or something, 17. And I'm thinking, great. I just got really well off. My differential was really paid off, and then Salah's gone and done that. And bear in mind, this is when Salah was having a really bad form. He weren't playing very well when I got Garnacho in for him. So it cost myself like 7 points there, but that was like ages back, so it's not a big deal. What time are we on, lads? Right, we're going to be on for another 5 or so minutes. So anyone who wants to get the questions in, get them in now. We'll talk transfers and that, and then we're going to call it the stream because I've got some other stuff to record and videos for tomorrow and that I need to get sorted out and some editing as well. So we'll run another 5 minutes, boys. For anyone who wants to get your questions in, your team in. Any questions you want, get them in now. I'll answer as many as I can within the next 5 or so minutes. Transfer questions, captaincies, team. I'll do a team review if you put your team in the chat and tell you anything I recommend, anything like that. Just get it in the chat. And I'll answer them momentarily now. Can't believe that. Sarabia and Neto. Very interesting. Right, let's just move that out of the way. Hold on, boys. Let me just set the stream thing up ready. Right. Oh, still debating Benchy Watkins as well, lads. A bit of an iffy one. I'm still debating. And we got left. We'll see if we get any more questions in, any more help anyone needs. And then once we've sorted that, we're going to get off. I haven't seen that lad who come in earlier asking me about Maribel. I didn't give him an answer to his question, but I don't think he's back in here today. By the looks of it. Was an interesting one, to be fair, Maribel. I don't know why someone was mentioning him. I know he's 3.9 mil, but like I said to him, I know he's got an okay fixture this week. Sheffield's great fixture for a clean sheet, but then he's not going to keep clean sheet and then double game week. Doherty's not going to get a clean sheet in that double game week. Should I keep Palmer or sell next week but one? So you want to sell him for a player in 25. The only reason I'm selling Palmer is because he's got a double play in 25 and he's got City 25.5 fixture. If you're selling him for a double game week player, then 100% do it. Because Palmer blank's 26 anyway. So if you sell him for a double game week player, then my answer to that is 100% go through with it. Do it. 100% do it. It's worth the risk. God, I might be. You know what, boys? We'll stay on a bit longer since you boys have got some questions. We can sort the editing out later. We'll stay on as long as until everyone's finished with the questions. Yeah, I'd probably be sending Palmer to a double game week player. Definitely. If you're going to send him to a double game week player, do it. If you're not going to send him to a double game week player, then just hold him and save the transfer. I mean, if you haven't got Palmer for Foden, yep, 100% do it. Yep, just do it. Not even really a question that move. Yeah, just do it. Just sell Palmer to Foden because Foden's got Everton this week. But if you're selling him next week, Foden's got a double game week anyway, and he doesn't blank in 26, and Palmer does, so that's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Don't even need to think about it, just do it. Just don't be taking any hits this week, Eliza. Don't be taking any hits. Hits are the one thing you don't want to take this week. If you're going to take a hit, then you can get away with taking a hit in the double game week, because a few people are taking hits in the double game week. Like, I was possibly considering doing Palmer out to Barkley and Watkins to Nunes on a -4. Possibly. And I don't take it very often. Doughty or Lamptey? Doughty. Lamptey won't even start for Brighton, most likely, and Doughty all day of the week. It's not really a question, Doughty. He's literally one my favourite defender to bring in, Doughty is, by far. He looks absolutely brilliant. Quite interesting. That's what I was going to ask anyone actually when anyone's in. Has anyone got Ivan Toney in the team? I know I'm a bit different at the minute because I've got Ivan Toney in my team. A lot of people haven't. My team is a little bit different, but I could get away with some decent things going off. Obviously, Pinnock's only 3% owned, but I know he's got Liverpool and Man City in the double. I'm not expecting anything from him really. I'm expecting 4 points from him, but if he could get a goal, he could get an assist, anything could happen. So there's a possibility with Pinnock. Obviously, I will be benching Porro 25. Most likely, I'll be benching Pedro Porro because I'll play Pinnock for a double. I'll play Doughty. You know, I'll probably bench Porro. I expect Wolves to score versus Spurs, so it's not going to be a killer to bench Porro of the week because I will play Pinnock just because of the double. And Bradley is back as well. We've not played Steep. I better take a hit for Doughty. Should I go through with it? What -4 are you doing? It depends what you're doing. Like, if you're doing Palmer to Foden and let's say Lamptey to Doughty on a -4, then that's worth it. Because Doughty will get a clean sheet this week, which will make up your -4 just there. Plus, he'll probably get an assist. Then he's got the double 25. Lamptey probably won't even play. Foden's going to be a better option than Palmer as well. But I think what I'd personally do, for me, is keep Palmer this week, bring Doughty in, and then sell Palmer to Foden next week for free and 25. That way you avoid a hit, you avoid losing any points and going down rank from a hit, you avoid possibly making a bad decision. Doughty's great for this week. You don't need Foden necessarily this week for Palmer, and you can just bring Foden in 25 for the double. There's your logical decision for you. That makes the most sense. The only week I'd consider taking the hit is 25, and I'm slightly considering it. Gordon to Barkley and Lascelles to Doughty. Okay, yeah. If that's what you're doing, then do it. Yeah. If you're doing that -4, then yeah, that's absolutely fine because you're getting rid of Lascelles, and Lascelles won't even play for Newcastle, so that's immediately 2 points back, and then Doughty's only got to get a clean sheet, which he will versus Sheffield. That's already paid your -4 up. I don't think Gordon will do anything, and Barkley will probably get a return again in the high-scoring game. So yeah, the -4, yeah, that's absolutely fine. -4, yeah, that's absolutely worth it. I'd do that, and then just bring in Foden for Palmer in 25. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. -4. It seems you're the only one asking questions today. We haven't, to be honest, we haven't had this barrage of questions like yesterday. So actually, be able to talk about the blue card nonsense and a load of other things that are going on. So that's been a bit nice. Yeah, no, going to Barkley and Lascelles today. I don't mind the move. Right, yeah. I think that's. I'm going to give you guys another minute, but I think that's the last of our questions. Eliza, if you're going to get your questions in now, last couple questions now I'll answer, and then I'm going to be getting off, pal. And I'm going to get the editing and recording done for tomorrow. So, if that is it, I will give you another minute. think we're pretty much done for questions. Right, boys. Like I say, I think we're pretty much done for questions now. I'm going to linger for 30 minute. Linger still. Still lingering to see if anyone's got any last questions, because I don't ever want to miss any of your questions. I'm done with some of the questions answered. That's absolutely brilliant, Eliza. Like I say, there is some other people in there, lads. Anyone, if you want to get your questions in, do get them in now. I'm more than happy to stay on a little bit longer and answer questions. We've got a deadline for the videos now, but I'm more than happy to answer questions if anyone's got any questions. If not, then we'll leave it here. Because I'm more than happy to answer anyone's questions. While I'm here as well, I am going to get the Discord link posted in the chat, because I'm always, every single day, always responding to the Discord. I'm always in there, I'm always chatting, I'm always putting any news, any leaks, any transfer news, any injury news, anything will go in the Discord. But I think that is it for questions. Yeah, it is. Okie doke. Right, thank you everyone for coming in. We've got a nice, good hour and about 15 minutes again today, so that's been absolutely brilliant. I should see you all tomorrow on Saturday. We have the 3 PM kickoffs and the 12:30 kickoffs. I will probably start a stream around 12:30, finish about 2:45, and then I'll be back on after 15 minutes for the 3 o'clock kickoff, because I will need a 15-minute break in between both streams. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you all have an amazing day. Good luck in your FPL weeks, and this has been FPL Josh, and bye.